Recording in progress.
You ready?
Got it.
Let's do it.
Ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Buster Show. It is my honor to introduce our very special guest, Dwight Howard. Dwight, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Fantastic, man. I appreciate you doing this. I wanted to start it off with a fun question, which I don't know the answer to. I've only seen your old videos with all of your pet snakes, but do you still have all of them?
I do have my snakes. They are in Georgia right now, and I miss them so much. My favorite snake, his name is George. His colors are actually purple and gold, so it's kind of crazy to have a Laker colored snake.
Wow.
He is my biggest snake. He's about 20 feet right now, maybe about 130 pounds. So he's a pretty big snake.
That's a very large snake. How long have you been collecting and keeping snakes?
I started collecting snakes actually when I started playing for the Lakers the first time. So I've been having snakes since then. You know, it's my third time with the Lakers. So I would say since about 2011, 12.
Wow. Now, did you start off with the intention of having a ton of pet snakes, or is that just something that happened naturally?
I did. I wanted to have a lot of snakes because there's so many different types. There's so many like beautiful colored snakes around the world, exotic snakes. And I was like, man, once I got one, I was like, yo, this one is nice. And this one is nice. And, you know, just so many that are like very beautiful. They're very, very different creatures from what most people are, you know, used to, but I love them.
You know, why do you think so many people are afraid of snakes as opposed to like turtles, which everybody loves? Like, what is the difference? I mean, you could pick another animal. It's a little bit more dangerous, but why do you think people are so afraid of snakes as opposed to other animals that are just as dangerous?
One movie, Anaconda.
That's what it is.
Everybody think that a snake is just going to take them and squeeze the life out of them and then eat them whole. Like, no, snakes do not do that. And we are too a snake to really just turn around and take us and eat us. Like people always say that, or they think that every snake in the world is venomous because that's what we've been taught. But all the snakes that I have, they're constrictors. So they have no venom and they rarely bite, you know, if they bite at all, but anything with teeth can bite. So a dog can bite you, and I would rather get bitten by a snake than a dog any day.
So I had pet snapping turtles growing up, and they'll bite you. And there is no.
I have snapping turtles at my lake.
Really?
And I also
they're dangerous.
They are. You can't get around them. They will bite the crap out of you, and they don't care. At least snakes, they'll think about it before they bite you because they don't want to get caught up. But turtles don't care. They'll just bite you, and then if you try to get close, they'll go into their little shell, and there's really nothing you can do then.
Now, I did hear you have been bitten multiple times, though. Is that fact or?
Just I would say twice, 2 times or 3 times. But it didn't hurt. It was kind of like a little pinch, kind of like when you get a needle poked inside of you, like real quick. That's how it felt. And then that was it. It wasn't like it stayed there for a week. But my dog has bitten me. My dog is a police trained dog, like one of those.
Wow.
And I had on a little sleeve and he bit through the sleeve. I felt that for about 2 weeks, just the pressure of his bite. So it's totally different from a snake bite.
That is crazy. One other thing that I know you love, I saw it in a video you were talking about how you keep crystals.
Yes.
That you were like the real life Kevin Garnett from Uncut Gems. What powers do they give you, or do you feel like you get from them before games?
Well, the first thing I want people to know is that we are crystals. So we have elements in our body, we have minerals in our body, just like some of these crystals do, and we vibrate, you know, on different levels, just like these crystals do. Now, these crystals have properties that can, you know, erase negative energy, can bring forth positive energy and love, whatever you're looking for. but it all starts with you. It's wherever your mindset is. So I would like to first say that we are crystals ourselves as humans, and sometimes we think that, we actually need anything else when all the answers and everything is inside of us. With that being said, these crystals can enhance all of the abilities that you have inside of you. That's hence why Thanos from Marvel Avengers, why he went on a search for the best crystals in the world so he can have all the power. So it's kind of like almost the same thing.
Do you have you collected all of the Infinity Stones?
I have collected all the Infinity Stones, but I will not snap the world away.
All right, just checking, just making sure. Is one crystal better than another? I saw you in that video with like a giant quartz crystal.
Yeah.
Do you prefer one type of gem to another?
Well, it just depends on who you are. I would say there's one crystal that I would recommend for a lot of people, but it's extremely rare and it's very, very expensive now. It's called Moldavite. I don't know if you've heard of it, but everybody's been in search for this crystal called Moldavite. It enhances your spiritual side. It also like all your emotions and the people that are around you, this crystal will kind of help like bring to light any issues that you have. And, you could lose friends, you could go through a big stage in your life by having just this one little crystal.
That sounds like the final Infinity Stone right there. Well, I'm glad you have one, or you have a piece.
I do have a piece. It's very small, it's about that big. It's kind of like the soul stone. Like, what are you willing to give up to get? So this is pretty intense.
Were you like bidding in an auction to win it, or how did that go down?
No, I actually ordered it from the place that it's from. It's from Czechoslovakia. There was what was it called? A meteorite that landed in Czechoslovakia a while ago. And so what they did was take this meteorite and they cut it up and they start selling it and using its properties to kind of benefit, what goes on in our bodies. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, meteors, you'll find some stuff that, I mean, you don't find too often here on Earth. So it's pretty cool. I wanted to ask you, I was watching this old video. I think it was on Chris Bosch's YouTube channel, and it was from you guys during Team USA. You guys stopped at a gas station and got food. Why was Team USA at a gas station eating food?
Well, we were traveling in California, and I think we were headed to San Francisco, if I wasn't mistaken, or as a place between there. We were supposed to be going to practice. It was like a far drive, and everybody was really hungry. So we saw a gas station, and we wanted to go in the gas station to get some snacks. And then it so happened to be a Wendy's in there.
Wow, lucked out there. It's always good when that happens.
So we got to Wendy's, and while we were there, everybody wanted to stop and get a burger. And it was so good. Like, it was like the first real meal we had in like 3 weeks. So like everybody was just like, if you saw the video, I wasn't even talking. I was just trying to demolish the burger I had because I was so hungry. And then they had LeBron had the camera, he's pointing at everybody. And I was just like, because I was hungry, I didn't want to say nothing.
That's pretty funny. I saw that back in the day, you used to eat like 10 or 12 candy bars a day.
Ooh, that was pretty intense. I ate more candy than that, but I guess they just had to embellish the whole fact that I had candy bars. But I don't know if I just ate candy bars. I had everything from honey buns to Starburst to Skittles.
Did you just have like a Superman metabolism, or how did you manage to stay on top while that was happening?
Kind of like calories. It's kind of like burning calories. So, despite all the stuff I was eating, I was working out as hard as I was eating those snacks. So it kind of was like a balance.
Right.
So if people do want to eat, a burger, go on the treadmill for an hour, just to kind of balance out eating that burger. So it's just kind of like a balance. My favorite meal before games back in the day was 2 double cheeseburgers, a large fry, a small fry, a large strawberry chocolate milkshake, and a Coke from McDonald's. And that was kind of like my go-to meal before the game. And it got me ready for the game.
That's what got you ready for the game, not the practice.
That was my meal, my pregame meal.
Now that is smart though, for anybody listening out there. If you burn off the equal calories to the thing you just consumed, I mean, in theory, you should be in the green if you're also getting the proper nutrition, I imagine, which I'm sure you are as well.
I didn't always eat bad, but it's just, I did have my snacks. I loved honey buns. They were like one of my favorites, Baby Ruths, Tootsie Rolls. I had a whole pantry full of candy. And I also had like a little nightstand by my bed, and it was full of honey buns. And I had
that's dangerous. That is dangerous right there.
I don't really eat that like that no more. I kind of just eat fruit now. That's kind of like my vice. I eat a whole bunch of fruit.
That sounds organic, more like the crystals than the, I don't think we have any honey buns inside us unless we put them there.
No honey buns. But I do miss them though. There's some times where I go to the gas station and I see a honey bun. I'm like, man, I wish I can just take this whole box home and heat it up and just drink some Coke and just relax and watch a movie. But I don't want to do that.
That's funny. Do you think that the Atlanta Celtics were the greatest AAU team of all time?
I would say we're top 2, top 3. Yes, no doubt. We had a team full of NBA players. We were big, we were strong, we were athletic. I thought we were very entertaining. People loved coming to our games. Josh Smith was like LeBron in high school when it came to dunking. He was doing all the dunks LeBron was doing, but with his left hand. Then you had me and Randolph playing the power forward and center. And we were just trying to dunk everything in the paint. And Randolph was kind of like a Tim Duncan type player. He wanted to shoot fadeaway jump shots. And we had some good guards, Javaris Crittenton, Dwayne Day. Man, we had a team full of some excellent players. It was crazy.
All I can think about is like some normal kid out there was just like going through a day of high school and then had to go play you guys at the end of the day. I feel bad for that kid.
I've met people like that who said, yo, our team would lose so we wouldn't have to play you guys in the tournament. They would lose on purpose.
That's crazy. That's when you know you're good.
We had a lot of fun. I actually miss those days, traveling around United States, going to the tournaments in Vegas, staying in those crazy hotels. And like, we were so silly. We played like the big hotel version of hide and go seek, where if you got caught, you got jumped. So like, imagine being this big old hotel resort and you're playing hide and go seek. You start outside and the goal was to get from the outside all the way to the floor where the room was. And that was our hide and go seek. It was a lot of fun actually staying in a big hotel like that.
That does sound like fun. Shoot, I'd do that today. Now, you were the first player in NBA history out of high school to start in all 82 games in your rookie season. First in NBA history. Did you ever have any thought about going to college? Was that ever something? Never?
Never wanted to go to college. Not ever.
Why was that?
I just felt like it wasn't for me. Some people might like college and stuff like that. I did go on a college visit. I was like, no, I don't want to go to no place like this. I can't stand it. It was boring. And people were like, you would have had fun in college. Probably, but I have a lot of fun in the NBA. It's just, I don't feel like college was something for me. Like, I love doing schoolwork, but nah.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I'm with you. I skipped college. I knew from junior year it wasn't for me. But then again, I was not 7 feet tall or good at decent shot, but I didn't make my high school team. So we'll leave it at that. 2004 McDonald's game, you were co-MVPs with J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith has since gone back to college. What have you been watching that, following that? What do you think about that? And would you ever do something similar?
I don't know if I'll go back to a normal college like that and study anything. But I like what he's doing. He's put his mind to it. He's showing people that he has another side besides basketball. And because, he's been one of those people that's always been clown, people thinking that he has no intelligence. And, I beg to differ. I've been around him a lot. He's very intelligent. When people look at us athletes, they feel as though because we're athletes, we don't have anything between our heads, and they don't understand how mental basketball is. It's
100%.
95% mental, and the rest is physical. So with that being said, we've had to learn most of our things by thinking through them. All of our experiences on and off the court, we've had to think through those situations and figure it out on our own. And, he's been one of those guys who came out of high school. So for us, we've had to learn everything on our own while basically having the whole world watch us, kind of like a real life Truman Show. So for him, he's doing an amazing job, and have a 4.0 in college, playing golf, with all the things that could become of being in college after already going through that whole phase. He's in his mid 30s now, and going to college is like, I've done everything. I won championships. I've played with the best players in the world. Why do I have to do this? But he's doing it amazingly, and I'm so super proud of him.
It's so cool, man. And all that judgment, and still everybody gives back and does all the right things. And speaking of giving back, I wanted to talk about your foundation with you. What was the sort of idea behind wanting to start this, and why what you're doing specifically? Where did that idea originate from?
Oh, well, I've had a couple foundations in the past, and they have not been as successful as I wanted them to. And with the one that I just recently started, Grand Champion Foundation, I think it's perfect for the area in my life that I'm in, and where I'm planning on going, and where I want my kids and other people around me to go. I feel like all of us are champions. And it's not just in my community, it's not just in LA, but it's around the world. All of us have a great opportunity in front of us to be great, and it's never too late. And I feel like by calling yourself a grand champion, you're basically letting yourself know mentally that I can overcome any obstacle that I have. And the different programs that we provide for kids and adults, just give them kind of like a boost to let them know that, hey, you are a champion. We're going to get through this together. We're going to figure it out. We're going to fight. And, we're going to allow people to remember who they really are and what their purpose is on this earth.
100%. One of my favorite videos of yours is after you won the championship, you went on Instagram Live and you essentially said similar sentiments while, I think you were holding the trophy. It was pretty dope. Especially from like your whole career to that point, it was dope. But that same sentiment is true. So what would your best advice be to somebody coming up now, chasing their dreams, whether it's basketball or not? What would you say to that young person?
Well, I would tell that person, it's not about chasing your dream. It's about living it. Your dream is already here. It's already here. You're living in the past, the present, and in the future all in one moment. So you have the ability to control that with just your thought process. So if you want to be a champ, if you want all your dreams and aspirations to come true, just live in the moment, live your dream out. You're going to have bad moments, you're going to have unsuccessful moments, but those just breed character, make you who you are. So that's the words that I live by. I don't take anything in a bad way. Obviously you get upset when things don't happen the way you want it to happen. That's life. But you got to figure out what you do from that moment on. So I use every time that I failed or I didn't actually win as an opportunity for me to get better, and all the kids should have that same mindset. That's anybody, even if they're older, you know. It's never, like I said, it's never too late to be great, you know. Age is only just a number, and there's always a purpose for your life, you know. It's always another chapter in your book, unless you want your book to end. And my book isn't ended yet. It's still in the beginning.
100%, man. So how can people support the foundation and find out more information about it?
Well, you could always go to my Instagram, or you can go to our Instagram, Grand Champion Foundation, which is also on Instagram. We have a website, grandchampions.org, where you can check out our what we're doing in our different communities. We're doing things for single moms. We're doing a lot of things for single moms. We're doing things for the Water Boys, which is a community in Georgia of young kids who sell water. And we want to really help them become entrepreneurs, you know, help them get off the streets. You know, it's a lot of kids in areas around the world who do the same thing. You know, they're trying to hustle and find a way to get up. And we want to build each other up and get out and get up together. And, you know, we know how tough it is on the streets. You know, actually, a couple of those kids that I mentored, they have passed away just from gun violence of being, you know, in the streets and trying to sell those waters. So we do a lot of things to help those people out. We have basketball programs, of course. We also have programs for your spirit and also for your mind. You know, the biggest thing that we need is to renew our minds and our consciousness. And, you know, that's something that's very important to me. As much as, you know, the physical is important, if your mind and your spirit is not in the same place, then there's nothing that you can do, you know. So you have to get those straight first. It's like a process. And we want to really help people through that process so they can understand that they, like I've been saying this whole time we've been here, is they have a purpose, and it's a reason why they're here. And we just want to motivate them and give them a boost so they can make it.
That's amazing. You know, there's a quote that I love, which is, if everybody could sit in a room by themselves for an hour and just think, there would be infinitely fewer problems in the world. And that speaks to your point on having everybody's mental right. And I've heard that you also meditate. Have you found that that is a great point of like grounding and getting your mind in the right place?
It is, you know, just to become one with yourself. You know, a lot of people, they say it's hard to actually sit down and meditate. And I definitely understand that, because your mind starts to race, but that's okay. You know, I found the easiest thing to do when you're meditating is when you have those thoughts, observe those thoughts, know that they're there. You know, it's like imagine being in having a box, and you want to take all those thoughts and everything that you have, and you want to put them in the box. You know, just put all those thoughts in the box. That way, you know, those thoughts are always there. You can go back and reach them at any time, you know, so you don't have to pressure yourself into thinking that, oh, I can't motivate because I can't get myself quiet. Well, it's practice. It takes time. And the more you do it, the more successful you'll become at it.
I think for me too, when I started, the thing that helped the most was just being okay with the thoughts just racing. Like that's a good thing that you're thinking.
Monkey brain. It's called monkey brain.
100%. And that's inevitable, especially when you're starting. But you know, just pushing through and thinking whatever you want to think. And if you think a thought that isn't calming, that's okay. And you know, it eventually gets back to the place. Like the thought doesn't have to do with meditating or anything that you would associate with meditating for it to still qualify as meditating. And that was what I thought for me was the biggest hurdle at the beginning. But I'm with you, man. I think it's big. I hope everybody, you know, listening does it as well.
It'd be great.
I wanted to ask you, when you were playing for Orlando and you were battling LeBron when he was with the Cavs, was there any thought that one day, and this was like pre-super team, you know, energy in the NBA, was there ever a thought, maybe I could play with that guy one day?
Actually, yeah, I thought that if me and him were on the same team, that we'll dominate the league for, we'll start a dynasty. I felt like me and him could actually do that because we have that same mindset. We love to have fun, but on the court, we're like menace to society.
Right.
And, I love that about him, the fact that, off the court, it's all jokes and laughs and, music and some of the same qualities that I would, I think I have, and then on the court, he has that killer instinct, but he also wants to get everybody involved. He wants to see everybody come up. So, yeah, I thought that when we were young, it would have been a great thing for both of us to get together and play.
Well, when you finally did get together and play, you won a championship. So I guess you were right.
Yeah, we did it. When we won it, it's kind of like we had each other's back. We knew what it took, and it seemed like it was effortless.
That's amazing. Now, I remember seeing that you, this was before your championship, that you thought that your gold medal was your most, one of your most precious possessions. Where does the gold medal compare to the championship ring now in terms of like your own collection?
Ooh. It's crazy that I don't know if you've seen the movie Soul.
I haven't. I need to watch it.
So
oh wait, the Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So there's a part in the movie where he says people search all day for water when they're already in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like something that, kind of like the epiphany that I had. We won the championship. It was an amazing feeling. I'm not taking nothing away from it, but it was like, man, like the day we won was great. It was on cloud 9. But
doing Instagram lives.
Yeah, that was so amazing. But just life itself, it's the moments that we have in life is like so much. It's so much more. The moments that we shared during that season, all that stuff was kind of just better. Now I would say that, not saying that the ring and all that stuff is great, but the moments, that we shared and just being in the NBA the time itself was so much better than just saying you have a trophy or a ring. The ring and everything is kind of like, from all the hard work, it's kind of like, man, that paid off. But right. The journey, the whole process, losing so many times, then getting in the gym that same summer and practicing, saying, I'm going to go get it next year. Those are the moments that, really, that had me like kind of in tears when I got on my Instagram live, just reliving those moments of, just getting in the gym and remembering being on Orlando and us losing and me and Jameer watching them celebrate. Those are the moments that I was like, dang, if it wasn't for these moments, I probably would have never been here today.
That's a beautiful message, man. I love that. And, I think it's good for everybody to enjoy the process, because the sad thing about achieving what you want to achieve is that it's over.
Yeah.
And then like the whole purpose of life is living, but then after you do it, it's over, and then there's no purpose. So it's like
every day is like stay in the moment. That's why I was referring to earlier that we're living in the past, the present, and the future all in the same time. It's all one big moment. So it's like, just stay in that moment, stay present. Like, don't just live your life to try to get up to one big moment, because once you get there, it's like you might see that.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Like, even on Soul, like he did all that just to play at the one show. He played at the show. He got a whole bunch of claps. Everybody loved him, but then he still went home alone. And it was like, then he realized like, I just did all that and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And then he realized him living and going through the whole process, all the ups and downs, was like, those are the moments that really define, those are the memories that you'll always have.
And it's funny too, and I'm curious if you feel this way too. The beginning is often the most fun in retrospect, because going from nothing to something is so much more exciting than going from something to something more.
Yeah, it's just exciting when you have a goal and it's like that first step, because that usually is the hardest step. That's usually when you have to tell yourself like, all right, I'm gonna have to get up and really do this. Some people are afraid to take that step. And then once things get hard, that's kind of like the middle phase, or right before you hit the finish line. That's when people are like, oh man, it's too hard, I want to give up. But then you give up and not realizing that you might only be a couple feet or a couple days or a couple months from completing your mission. But if you gave up, you probably gave up too soon. And now all the work that you put in before that moment, it's like you did it for nothing.
100%, man. I'm with you. Couple of final questions. Are there any big pets or snakes or anything that you have never had that you wish you could? Like, obviously, guys like Mike Tyson, I've had like tigers. You have snakes.
I've adopted a tiger.
You have?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The one animal that I would like to have in my backyard is a giraffe. I want a giraffe so bad, like two of them, two giraffes. And I just have a leash on both of them and just walk around my house or in Georgia, just with these giraffes, like take them on walks. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very cool. I think you'd be one of the first. I don't think Tyson ever had a giraffe.
No, he didn't have a giraffe. And I don't think they're real mean creatures. I think I'll just make sure they get enough cabbage, because they love to eat cabbage and carrots and vegetables and stuff like that. I'll make sure they get that. And, just spend some days with them until they get too big to where I'll have to stand up on the top of my house to feed them. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
Well,
that would be very cool. Yeah, imagine them in the NBA. I mean, they'd be the most dominant of all time.
Most dominant. Nobody will be able to stop a giraffe.
Yeah, they'd have to shoot down instead of shooting up. Pretty crazy to think about. So you don't have any, there are no more snakes out there that you wish you had?
Well, I had one of these snakes, but unfortunately he passed away. I'd love to get another one. It's called a Bolin's python. It's from Papua New Guinea. There's these snakes that have they're kind of like black and neon green mixed together. And so they look very cool, and they're kind of like iridescent. So if you see them in the light, it seems like they got all the colors of the rainbow on top. Wow. And then the bottom is kind of like this lime neon green. And so it's like a real color. It's like, imagine a matte colored snake that's on the top is black, but iridescent. And at the bottom, the whole belly, the bottom of the mouth all the way down is like neon green. And they're very cool snakes, very docile. So if I could have one of those. And then it's another snake called an indigo snake. It's called a blue indigo snake. They're actually blue in color. So I would love to have one of those.
Wow. I heard that Michael Jordan is terrified of snakes. So by default, that makes you the greatest of all time.
Oh, he's a snake. Why people are scared of snakes? It's so crazy.
I'm with you. I feel like I feel the same way about sharks, right? The amount of shark attacks compared to the amount of shark interactions with humans is insanely low. And if it ever does happen, it's a mistake, unless it's a great white shark or a couple others who are just defending themselves, usually, or they're hungry, but that's rare. So, the amount of interactions that happen compared to the attacks doesn't justify the amount of fear.
You see, people, like you're saying, people just have a fear, but you know that there are more coconut droppings that kill people than your shark attacks.
We should be afraid of coconuts.
We should be afraid of standing under coconut trees more than we should be afraid of sharks.
Dude, vending machines. There are more vending machine deaths from falling on people than there are shark attack deaths annually.
So I need to stay away from those vending machines. I don't want to hurt my big toe. I need it.
I think you're good, man. I think you're good, but you know, smaller folks, I don't stand as much of a chance. I wanted last question for you. So I'm a big sports card collector, and I wanted to ask you. I asked this to any guy who has a card. If you had to guess, what do you think the most a Dwight Howard card has ever sold for? I know the answer.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I would say about 18,000.
So the correct answer is $68,000. And it wasn't even a rookie card. So this card was in your second year, and it also has LeBron and Kobe on it. You guys all signed it together, and it's a 1-of-1. And that sold for $68,000 last December.
It's a Topps card?
That is an Upper Deck card.
Deck card.
That's an Upper Deck.
Yeah. Upper Deck is no more. I miss Upper Deck.
Yeah, Upper Deck, well, Panini has the NBA license, but Upper Deck has the exclusives with LeBron and Jordan. So they still do like college cards and things like that, but Panini has the exclusive on the NBA for the next 4 years. And then it goes to Fanatics, and Fanatics bought the NBA, MLB, and NFL. So they all go there in a couple of years.
The card game is crazy.
Have you paid any attention? It's gone insane in the last 3 years.
I've never really, that's a lot. I'm really trying to learn this NFT space, but.
Oh man, there's a lot to dive into there. Do you have any? Have you collected?
Not really. I feel like everybody's trying to go into this Ready Player One phase with the what is it called? The multiverse and all that stuff.
The metaverse.
Metaverse, metaverse. Yeah. So yeah, it's getting kind of crazy out here. It's going to be a lot of digital copies of ourselves walking around here pretty soon with this 5G technology. So
it's gonna get crazy, man. But I generally think it's safe to stay away, because a lot of it right now is hype. It's people day trading these giant projects, whereas in the future it'll become much more stable. It's just because it's so early, and obviously there's a lot going on volatility wise with crypto in itself, which is what backs every NFT ever. I'm very deep in it too. So it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, so you've got your big projects like your Bored Apes and your CryptoPunks, and then you've got your metaverses, which are essentially fixed worlds. So think Minecraft or Fortnite, but you can actually buy digital land. So one of them is called Decentraland, where a plot of land in there costs about $12,000, and there are 20,000 total. The most expensive plots, though, that are near where the center. So when you go into the game, you spawn in the middle, and then the land right around that, because the majority of people that enter see that first. Those are about $2 million for plots of land right there. Yeah, you can buy digital land.
Is it kind of like Minecraft?
It's like Minecraft, but think there's only one world. There aren't tons of different worlds within Minecraft.
Oh, and you can build your own house and all that kind of stuff.
So Sotheby's, for example, they bought a bunch of plots and have a digital auction house within Decentraland that they paid a few $1 million for.
I'm gonna get my son, he's 8. I'm gonna have him, be the guide on that and tell me where to go, because he loves the Minecraft and all those game Roblox and stuff.
He's positioned very well for the future in that case.
So I'm gonna have him do that. We're gonna buy a plot of land on the mesh. What's it called? The
Decentraland. That's the most famous one.
Wow, and it's 12,000 a plot
for a plot. So the reason being, they have like 10 to 20,000 daily visitors, and people will put up billboards on their land, or you can even rent your land to other people. There's a whole marketplace for this. So you could put a billboard on your digital land, and because so many people come in and see it, you can put something up and advertise on there, just like a real physical billboard.
Wow. So could I actually go in there and walk and talk to people on there?
Yeah, I'll email over the link. You can go check it out. You can't talk to people, but you can walk and you can interact. So you could buy an NFT within Decentraland just from walking around.
Wow. So, wow. This is Ready Player One.
Oh, we're there. We're there. We're all the way there, man. It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty sick. I might need to get some land and get me a character to go in there and put some billboards up.
There you go, man. You can put all of your physical jerseys that people have given you in your digital house. You could get pets. You could build a snake tank in the Decentraland world.
I'll give me a giraffe for the fake world.
There you go. There you go. You don't need to feed it either. It's great.
I have to feed it. He needs food.
Your digital giraffe.
Yeah, my digital giraffe. I gotta get him some digital food just to make him feel comfortable with staying there.
There you go, man. So we make an NFT. We make 2 NFTs for every episode we do of this podcast. They're hand-drawn mics that I do, microphones to represent each episode, and we give one to every guest. So if you make a MetaMask account, which is like essentially just a crypto wallet, I'll send you your utility mic NFT from this episode.
Okay. All right. Let me get on that. I gotta learn about that and get on that. Okay.
There we go. Well, anyways, man, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you doing this. We covered every topic in the book.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was great.
All right. I'll see you later and see everybody else later. Peace out.
Stay